How to know he's watching porn, 5 signs. That's what we're gonna talk about today, and it's gonna be very helpful. This is something you're gonna wanna share with your girlfriends. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have hundreds of videos that can help you and your friends if they're in a situation where they think their husband or someone they care about is really struggling with pornography. There's a little discussion button. Click that if you have a question. I would love to hear your question. Also, there's a little bell. Click that because you'll be notified when our next great little YouTube thing comes out so you can get that information and share it. We thank you so much for how many people are sharing these things. It's helping people all over the globe. So stay tuned. How to know he's watching porn, 5 signs. That's our discussion today. Now, one way is he's starting to ask for things in sex that he already knows you're uncomfortable with or he's never thought of before, and it feels like it's kind of like an itch he's trying to scratch. It doesn't make sense to you. It's like off your list. It's not something that even remotely interests you, but it keeps coming up cyclically. And so that might be a sign that he's actually using pornography, masturbating, attaching to a certain kind of behavior in the porn world and trying to act it out with you. That's a very familiar sign. Now, another thing that can be a sign he's watching porn is what he's saying. See, if it's relational, I love you, I feel close to you, you're satisfying, I enjoy you, you're beautiful. It sounds very relational and warm. That's awesome. That's the way a man makes love to a woman. But if it's all these dirty words and, kind of things that are really kind of something you wouldn't say to someone you like, then he might be hearing these things in pornography and experimenting with it and in his making love to you or having sex with you. And if you're a woman, you definitely know there's a difference between those two things. And if it feels just like sex all the time, there's a problem, whether it's pornography or sexual immaturity for sure. A third thing, when you say no to sex, and I'm not talking about someone who says no all the time. You're a woman who likes sex, you enjoy sex, but every once in a while, you're legitimately tired or legitimately hurt or legitimately angry. Something's going on with you. And you're just saying, you know what, not tonight. You're not saying, no, I hate you. You're just saying, no, tonight's not gonna work for me. And you get that 4-year-old reaction. Like, what do you mean no? Like this kind of craze, like you're talking to someone who's not rational. Well, if they're not rational about a relational, hey, I just can't do that tonight, I'd love to tomorrow, and they gotta go sleep on the sofa or get mad at you or call you a name, there's probably pornography in the background, so it's okay to ask that question. Now, another thing is if he's starting to have performance issues in the bedroom, maybe you're married for a while, in a relationship for a while, things were good sexually, but all of a sudden it seems like he can't be stimulated or he's not able to perform as well. Research has shown too much pornography can affect the way a man performs sexually with a real person, because with a pornography person, you're in an altered state, they never talk back to you, there's no needs, there's no conversation, they don't have to exercise the relational skills during sex. And now with you want to be made love to, you want to have a relationship during sex, that's a different set of skills, so they can actually kind of run out of sexual bandwidth because they haven't been practicing that muscle, and so there's less ability to perform. So if that's going on, ask about the pornography use. Of course, if he's protecting his computer, protecting his cell phone, and you can't get into anywhere he's been, he's definitely protecting something. Now, lastly, disconnected during sex. We just talked about when you're being made love to. When a man's looking in your eyes, he's touching your heart, he's present with you, and it's more than sex. It's like we're together. It's like we're connected. It's like, wow. Okay, now that's not gonna happen all the time, but most of the time when you're with a mature man, that relational sex is very much there. Now, a guy who's doing pornography tends to disconnect during sex. They close their eyes. You don't know where they are. You don't know who they're really with. You don't know what's really going on. And your body feels alone. you start feeling empty after sex instead of fulfilled. Regardless of whether you have an orgasm or not, you don't feel close afterwards. You may feel used, alone, frustrated, especially if he's only taking care of himself. So this disconnected during sex could also have a porn origin. So ask the questions. It's okay if you're in a significant relationship or you're married, it's totally legitimate for you as a woman to say, hey, are you looking at pornography? Now I realize some women look at pornography and a man might be watching this, and sort of exactly the same things apply that I talked about here would apply to her as well. If this is an issue, let me tell you, I've been free for over 30 plus years. I've helped probably 10,000 more men get well and stay well from sexual addiction through books and conferences, and we do intensives here in my office in Colorado Springs, telephone counseling groups, all kinds of things for over 30 years. There's hope. Another thing I want to say, ladies, if you're watching this, it's not about your sex. It's not about your height, your weight, your hair color, your proportions. You have nothing to do with him watching porn. I've done over 5,000 sexual histories with men who struggle with pornography. And I can tell you 99% of them start at 12, 13, and 14 years old. You are not the problem. You are not part of the neurological reinforcement they develop for 10, 20, or 30 years, attaching to an object instead of a soul like you. So do not blame yourself. Now, there is pain if he's looking at pornography. The website partnerbetrayaltrauma.org verifies that. Our research shows that, the PTSD, the depression, the weight gain, the way that it affects your body. Absolutely. There's also help for him. You go to sexaddict.com, SEXADDICT.com. There's a lot of resources. If he wants to get free from pornography, he can, or other forms of sexual addiction, acting out with others, etc. Regardless of your situation, there's that discussion button. Please, if you have a question, do that. And if you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button plus the little bell so you can get notified of any of our videos that come out constantly. Our heart is to see you and him heal, have a great relationship, and have the best sex ever.